Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is a movie that suffers from being put on an incredibly high pedestal in my opinion. All I heard going into this film was 10 out of 10, masterpiece, and everybody was singing its praises. And let me just clarify that I do not think that this is a bad movie at all. In fact, I think this is an actually good film, but I'm not at the point where I'm ready to call it a masterpiece. But I figure I should get into this movie and talk about everything I liked about it. For starters, every single actor did an amazing job. Everyone was believable and they felt like they fit their characters very well. And there is some truly great character writing to accompany their performances. Each character has a lot of depth to them, and there are truly some characters that you'll find yourself caring about, and there are other characters in this film that you would not expect to care about at all. Another great thing about the writing in this film is that there are a lot of scenes that start off and you think that they're going to play out in a certain way, but then there's a certain submersive element during the scene that makes it play out differently, and it brings out a real sense of human emotion to it. The directing in this movie is very well done. There are some truly beautiful, aesthetically pleasing shots throughout this film, and there is one long take throughout the film that's very well done. There is a character death in this movie that is very unexpected and genuinely powerful, and it's not only powerful for in the moment, but it's very powerful for how it affects characters later on. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is something that is very well done. The ending of this film was also very satisfying. There's a truly great character moment in the ending scene of this movie. Now, in all honesty, I don't really have any criticisms about this film, but keep in mind that doesn't just make it a 10 out of 10 movie in my opinion. And look, a lot of people really love this movie, so I definitely recommend it to people, and I'll be watching this again, and I hope that my rating will go up, but for right now, I feel as if this one gets a very solid 7 out of 10. Now, the next movie I want to talk about in this video is actually the movie that I'm most excited to talk about, and that movie being Bad Genius. Now, this is a Taiwanese film. Now, the reason why I'm so excited to share this with you is not because it's even a great movie, and it does have its share of problems, but because it's just so memorably entertaining. Now, the plot of this movie revolves around high schoolers cheating on their exams. It's presented in a way of kind of being a heist movie, but what really makes this work is during the scenes where they are cheating, it's very clearly self-aware in how ridiculous the concept is. So at times there will be purposefully over-exaggerated sound effects, and all of this is done to help the audience be immersed into it. Now, in terms of being over-exaggerated, it doesn't actually lose the tension. It's over-exaggerated to such an extent that it actually becomes intense. If it were presented more seriously, you would have a hard time getting into it. So when something does go wrong during the cheating, you can't help but laugh at the idea of it, but also be kind of on your seat because you can't wait to see how it plays out. Another good quality about this film is that with its cinematography and presentation, it doesn't just cop out, and even during the non-heist scenes, it does make an effort to show things visually in an interesting way. There's some great music choices to accompany this film. I can't remember all of them, but I do think that is a detail I noticed the first time watching it. Now, the problems of this movie is that it is overly long for what it is. I think the total runtime is 2 hours, 20 minutes or something like that, and especially with the last 15-18 minutes, the emotions that they're trying to convey in that time are just felt really forced. All of the performances were serviceable for the film. Nothing really blew me away, but I can't really remember anyone bringing it down. Now, each heist gets progressively more and more crazy, and especially the last one is really the highlight of the film. Now, overall, this movie was just genuinely fun and entertaining. Would highly recommend it to people, and this one gets a strong 6 out of 10. And the last movie that I want to talk about in this video is Martin Scorsese's The Departed. Now, I recently just saw this movie for the very first time a few months ago from recording this, and one of the things that really struck me about it was its phenomenal editing, especially in the first hour of the film. The editing itself really helps keep the pace of the film up. It really helps with the action and intense nature of the film. And the movie itself doesn't feel overly long, and it always feels like it's moving on to its next point. All of the actors in the film did a great job, especially Jack Nicholson. His performance was certainly the most memorable out of the entire film, and it felt like he fit his character very well. The characters also have some really great dynamics with each other that help fit in with the comedy, and the comedy in the film really helps fit in with Jack Nicholson's character. The entire tone and experience of watching this film is just a very intense game of cat and mouse, and the film always finds new ways of surprising the audience members. So I absolutely love this movie. I think it's one of Martin Scorsese's best films, and I'd recommend this to absolutely everyone, so this one gets a very strong 9 out of 10.